Hi, I'm Nasim Qureshi Larsson and I'm a visibility and credibility expert. That means I can help you to feel and seem very authentic and good at what you do. And how do I do that? Well, one of the most important things is being able to take great testimonials. There is an art to it actually, to getting people that are satisfied and happy with your services to say something nice and preferably on camera. Traditionally, there are texts on home pages, and a lot of people feel that it might not even be true what they said on the page. One reason for this is that it seems often copyrighted. It looks the same, and it looks like somebody who's good with words have put something together. Or else it's just plain boring. There needs to be something more to it. Taking a testimonial is kind of an interesting journey. It's a kind of feedback journey for you as a business owner or a performer of any kind. What can we do then to get you a great testimonial? Well, it starts with preparation, as always. And you know that I always talk about preparation. And preparation is a lot of things. It's also preparing people emotionally. It's also making them feel comfortable with what we are going to do. But it also starts with, who are you going to ask for a testimonial? Don't just ask anyone. Ask someone you know is happy, and so who maybe even have expressed it spontaneously. Why? Well, people who actually express things spontaneously already actually have given you some words about what they like about your services. So you have some kind of idea also why they like it and what was happening when they liked it. So you can ask them about that. Also, of course, there may be some people who just feel fine with it, but they have not analyzed, they have not thought about what's good about it. And it can be a bit difficult to get them to actually come up with something. But somebody who says, oh, I love this, it was so inspirational, or it was like, for example, my customers, they tend to say that they felt very inspired when working with me, and that I made them feel comfortable. And that's what I want you to be able to do too. Another thing that comes also spontaneously is that they say, I'm professional. Why do they say that? Also because I prepare a lot. But I never put words into the mouths of my customers when they give testimonials. And when I help to get testimonials for my clients, I also don't put words in their mouth. I know what I would like them to say because I often, of course, know what my clients are good at. But I also interview the people who I take references from. That means first I prep them with a call. So even if it's not somebody giving me a testimonial or I'm doing it for a client, I would have a first call with them. That means somebody, of course, have asked them if they're okay with giving a testimonial. But from there to actually doing it, there is a long path. And so be careful also if you say, would you give me a testimonial? And somebody says, yeah, sure. And then nothing happens. A lot of people feel not so good then. They feel that the confidence is getting low. It's like, maybe this customer was not happy. Maybe they don't want to. Maybe I should not pester them with this. So even after one reminder, the person might say, yeah, sure, I'm going to do it. And they don't. The reason for this is not usually that they don't like what you have done or not happy with it. They just don't know how to do it, what they're supposed to say, what format, and how. So my suggestion is that you do use film, and you just need to have your smartphone with you, and it's also good to be in the moment. So if the person actually is there and just said to you, oh, I love this, and people will say something spontaneous, oh, I'm so glad that you prepped me, I feel so good, and I say, could you just say that on camera also? And usually they say yes. But of course, it depends. So it can be also a long-term client who have been getting results and you would like that to be demonstrated. So usually in that way, you don't want the testimonial immediately when you have done something. You want the testimonial also when there has been some kind of result. This means that you might have to have an alternate way of getting it. So I, for example, I work also internationally, so I had clients in other countries. I might actually have delivered the service virtually. And in that case, you can do it on your computer. So you actually have a record webinar. That's how I do it usually. Now then, if you need to prep the person, what are the questions they want answered before? Well, one of the most important thing is, where are we going to be? So we have chosen a nice spot here, as you see. It has always harmonious to be outside, but there can be a lot of sound disturbances. You need to know that it's a place where you will be able to stand at least for a few minutes without being interrupted or bad sounds in the background. Now, I like nature for a lot of reasons. It's just attractive to people. It's difficult to be in a white room. It does just not look good, and it's very boring. So if you are working with professionals, like I have business development coaches or consultants, and then they have people that work in offices and that they want testimonials from. If they are very short of time and it's not possible to get them to go somewhere to take the testimonial, perhaps you have to do it in their office. So there are a few questions you need to ask them for that. First of all, a person like that would also like to know, how long is the testimonial going to be? So too often people will say, it will just take 5 minutes. Yeah, because the end result might be 20 seconds or 1 minute, or sometimes a bit longer if it's very interesting. But the actual process of getting a good testimonial might have taken an hour. So I usually ask people to allow for an hour, and I say it's not actually for me, it's for you, so that you can feel comfortable with the result, that you feel that you have been speaking in a good voice, that you have not been seeming unsure of what you're saying, and that you're able to present yourself in a way that's good for your brand and credibility. So you, of course, get exposure yourself when you're giving somebody testimonial. And if somebody that you respect is good, then it's always good. So then do it also if somebody asks you. So you also get a chance to present yourself, and always let the client do that. But don't let them rant off in a long period of time without actually talking about you and your services, because then you might have lost the viewers before you get there. So sometimes I help people to summarize what they have been saying, so that even though it's their own words, it's very much quicker. So we can get it down to maybe a minute or something like that. And sometimes I use cut-ins in films with just 10, 20 seconds with the best of what they had said. But what else will they want to know? Like, where are we going to be in my office? Well, the office room sometimes can be very small, and it's difficult to get a good angle. Maybe also boring walls. There can also be an echo in the room because there are no textiles. So be aware of these things, that you might have to look for another place. Could be a nice conference room. But there is an advantage if there is actually sofas or something like that, some kind of cloth and curtains and so to make the sound good. So otherwise there might be an echo and it can sound actually quite bad. Now, saying all this, I still think the most important thing is to get the testimonial. So even if the circumstances are not perfect, still get it. Because you want the words. Then if it's not perfect, fine. Another thing, well, if people are in office, they're already office dressed or whatever, but a lot of the time you will be also having perhaps private people that are coming to your practice. If you're in the health sector, for example, and they won't know, am I supposed to use my clothes that I use in my free time, or am I supposed to use my office clothes, or, how should I look? And they get concerned about how the camera will view them. So you should also give them a bit of tip of how to look. And I let people actually take photos of themselves with their clothes in the mirror, and then actually send them to me. And I say, yeah, that looks good, or that was maybe a bit dark or something. So look out for the other film about how to dress in front of the camera. We're not going to detail now. So you need a place to be, which has good sound. You need to allow for not the next meeting being immediately there. Some people are good at getting out what they need to say quickly, but you do need some time to see to it that it's a nice and good environment where you have good lighting and sound conditions. Or maybe you have to add lighting or something like that. So you need to feel people feel comfortable also about what they're going to say. So you can perhaps also remind them of things that they have said, and you just say, okay, say something like that you said previously, or interview them a bit before. Well, for example, we're interested if you did get the result that you were promised or that you expected, or what were your expectations when you took this service or bought this product or whatever, and did that happen? Is this the effect that you actually got? So this is what people like to hear. And was it a nice process to work with you? So I think that summarizes basically what you need to know. Of course, there are all the ordinary things like thinking about lighting conditions and angles and all that, but prepping the participant. Yes, that is important. And knowing also what you want to be seen about your brand, what you want to be heard about your brand. Thank you.